Nigeria Info. I am Kaladako Rubaswar, and this is Hard Facts. All right, so a second major conversation for the day on Hard Facts. Of course, the first was the 4 o'clock hour. We pondered on the report about not holding executive council meetings by the River State government since 11th of December 2023. Now we want to talk about something very interesting, something I would like to see as policy direction of the River State government. And by the way, remember we also touched the big stories, the 3 o'clock hour. So yeah, just in case you forgot. We'll look at all of these after the major news at 6 when we do a recap, the open season that is, and you and I will talk and look for development. So now to the issue. Government were told in secondary school when we tried to define government that it is a continuum. And why is it a continuum? Because every administration has got a time limit, depending on the country, depending on the state. Maybe in some countries or states you have 7 years, one term. For some, you have as many terms as possible. For others, 4 year. At most, you can go 8 years. In Nigeria, government can go at most 8 years. Now, one time in our history, a president tried to extend his stay. It was known as the third term agenda of Olusegun Obasanjo. It did not work. It failed because many people kicked against it. So government is a continuum, because after Obasanjo came Yaradua. Yaradua died while in office, and Goodluck Jonathan took over. After Goodluck Jonathan, Buhari came in, and now we have Tinubu who has taken over from Buhari. So you see that government is a continuum. However, what is most important when we talk about continuity, irrespective of ideologies and policies, is that governments should be able to embark on projects that will stand the test of time, because government is not there just to force its ideas on the people. Government is there to do what is in the collective interest of the people. But is that what has played out in River State since 1999? I don't know. My observation tells me or informs me that what we have done in River State since 1999 is set up projects that points the finger, not accusing fingers now, but fingers of praise to the administration that was in power at a particular time. So when we think, for instance, the flyover at Location Junction, what comes to mind? The former governor, Nyesom Wike. When we think about the Obirikwere flyover, as important as it is, what do we think? We think Amechi, Rotimi Amechi. When we think, when we think the secretariat, we think some other things. We remember Jetta Spieth. Now, a lot of people in River State, when we talk projects and development, we like to attach it to the person at the helm of affairs at that particular time. And we don't see it as for the collective interest of Rivers people. Now, some of these projects that I've mentioned, have they helped development? Have they helped growth? Have they enhanced the living of people in River State? Yes, they have. But trust me, these projects have been politicized over the years, and that is what we use to measure whether a government was good or bad. And so we've seen over time projects that mean little or nothing to Rivers people being praised and lauded, and people saying, yes, this is why he was the best governor and still remains the best governor Rivers State has ever had. And when I remember projects like the monorail, as important as that project can be of impact to Rivers State, seeing those thick pillars standing and nothing useful is gotten from it, sometimes drives me to an emotional state. Lagos, by the way, now has its red and blue rail line. It didn't start with this government. Ambode touched it. Fashola touched it. Tinubu touched it. It's been touched by several governments to show continuity. In Rivers State, it looks like an abandoned project that would be demolished possibly sometime in the future. I do not know. I'm just taking a guess. And I'm taking a guess because you must have seen the report of the demolition of the shopping mall built during Celestine Omeya's administration in Rivers State. Now, you would remember that Celestine Omeya was governor for 6 months in the year 2007. So 1999, first democratic government in this dispensation. By 2003, their 4-year first term expired. And by 2007, the second year term or the second term expired. And then we saw, of course, the what I call palaver at the time when you did not contest, you did contest and all of that stuff. The arguments then, and the Supreme Court gave its verdict, and somehow Amechi was able to remove Omeya from office as a result of the Supreme Court judgment. But in that 6 months, 2.5 billion naira was spent in building this shopping mall. 2.5 billion naira. I'm looking at the FX today, the foreign exchange today, and I'm thinking 2007 up until now, that's what, how many years now? Someone help me. That's about 14 years, right? Oh, no, sorry, 17 years. Do you know what that money would be like now? That we'll be talking maybe 50 billion naira. Maybe that's what we're talking, looking at how naira has jumped to the level it is right now. I mean, the naira to the dollar at the time was not even up to 100, right? Because I remember during Goodluck's time, it was 120, 150, thereabouts. So during that beginning stage of our democracy in this dispensation, it wasn't up to 100, the dollar to the naira. And now it's around 1,600. Look at how far the money has grown in the last 17 years. And then this shopping mall that was not completed now has been demolished. Now, I can't blame this government. Maybe they have a better idea as to how, that parcel of land can be utilized. We need to hear from them first. But imagine after spending, about 7+ billion to build flyovers, that a government comes in and says, oh no, these flyovers are not necessary. Let's bring them down. Think about the man hours that were lost during the time. I mean, now they're doing the ring road around the Rumosi area, and I can see the traffic build up every day. Man hours are lost. People go through, some impact or the other. Businesses have shut down because they, needed space and broke down buildings and all of that stuff. Although they're being compensated, it's not the same as running a successful business. And of course, sometimes that's the cost of development, right? However, follow me, please. However, think about all of this impact, and then 10, 20 years from now, someone comes and says, oh no, this is not the direction we're traveling, or we should have been traveling at the time, so we're going to bring down all the flyovers. Sometimes it can be politically motivated. Other times it could actually be as a result of genuine development, given that the development, at the time when it was built, did not see a 10-year period or a 20-year period, did not factor in all of those challenges, and so it becomes very unnecessary in 10, 20, 30 years time. Let's give examples. During the election in 2023, certain laws were put into motion. Oh, you can use government properties for this, you can, and then 1 year down the line, those laws have been repealed. How? Just 1 year down the line, and the lawmakers, not much changes were made. The 9th and 10th lawmakers here in River State. And it's not just at the River State level. We've seen this play out in other states and even at the national level. You made a decision yesterday. Today you're rescinding. I remember during weekend's time, we built a roundabout, that's what it's called, right, at the garrison area. And a few months later, we're saying, oh no. And I remember, I think they put up a big, is it a statue or a flag? I can't remember. Someone can help me with that. And then a few months down the line, we said, no, I think we need a flyover over there. Now, I'm not attacking anybody. I'm looking at the policy direction of the governments that have come and that will come, and the government that we have now. And if it's a policy direction that is about making their name resound and, putting their names in the mouth of, followers, or looking at policies and projects that will stand the test of time. So I'm going to read from what is in, the in-house bulletin. The demolition of the shopping mall built during Celestino Mayor's administration in River State is stirring comments. A development economist Ugochukwu Agbarakwe tells correspondent Suibi Ruwari that the state government will need to ensure that the next project to be sited there has economic value. So what this person is arguing is that, just maybe there was no economic value to, the shopping. I mean, I guess maybe I would have to reach out to Celestino Mayor, His Excellency, to see, what he had in mind when he attempted, to build that shopping mall in 6 months. But by the way, several shopping malls have been built ever since. Several, and nobody ever thought it wise to go back there to restructure, to refeed, whatever it is. It's been demolished now. But let's take a listen.
I would advise that so far with what I've heard he's doing, I believe it means well for the state. This is the whole site, like one project that was abandoned after Amechi. We didn't do anything there. I've abandoned it. There's a bridge there that's supposed to link up Abua, Dondele to Port Harcourt, which will make their life very much here. With what I think the current governor is doing, I think we must have something in mind for demolishing that. My advice is that whatever is going to be there should be something that will add more development value to the state than what already exists here.
Okay, so like I've said, I do not have an idea what the governor wants to do there. I'm not here to criticize whether it's right or wrong, but I'm saying, imagine if the previous government or the person who even started this had put up something that will stand the test of time. Would that have been demolished? Think about it. But we will go for a quick commercial. When we come back, I'd like to take your thoughts on this.
Admission. Isiala College of Nursing Sciences 2023-2024 academic session. Admission is ongoing into the following courses of instructions. Enroll now for nursing and midwifery. Must have at least 5 credit passes at not more than 2 sittings in English, mathematics, physics, biology, and chemistry from WAEC, NECO or NAPTEP, and O-level BCE examination. Post-basic midwifery
minutes gone past the hour of 5. The headline news is coming up, but if you just join us, you're welcome. I'm Kalada Kurubatabo. This is Hard Facts. And before I go in for the headline news, I'd like to remind you that we're looking at the policy direction, not exactly of this government, but River State in general. And, you, the listener, doing business, living here in River State, you have a contribution to make to this conversation, and that's why I am talking directly to you this hour, so we can talk and get to exchange ideas and talk for development. I'll be right back. First, let me bring you the headline news.
Headline news: Nigeria Info on
conversation. I am Kaladaka Rubatable, like I already mentioned. This is Hard Facts, and we are looking at the demolition of a shopping mall built in 2007 by the then Governor Celestine Omeya. Remember, he was governor for just 6 months, and I told you what Ugochukwu Agbarakwe said, that now the government should do something that can stand the test of time. However, another economist, Allwell Intiga, says, you know what, let's listen to what he said on this one.
It's a colossal waste of the state resources. A building like that, located in a very strategic area. I don't know the intention of the state government why they decided to demolish such a building. That place could have served as a hub that can also create employment to our youth. So I am advising the state government to, in place of that structure, build an ultra-modern ICT center where our youth can be gainfully employed.
A youth leader, Livingstone Membere, also had something to say about this.
It's a long time, and if there are defects, that if you see the cost of repair, it will even take more money than building a new thing. What government has as the concept now is different. Then you cannot compromise safety. So if government has seen that, and government said, oh, this part of the building is not good, or it cannot stand the test of time again, it is a rational decision. And government said, no, what we want to do is that we want to use it for some other project or facility that will have direct economic bearing in terms of job creation and on the people. There is a rational thinking. There is nothing wrong with that.
And now, trust me, all of these speakers have great points. One, if there is a defect, if there is, the scientific, what's the word now? Scientific finding that building will collapse in the nearest future, then it's a great thing to bring it down. But you see, like the first and the second speaker said, huge amount of money, and I did my research, 2.5 billion naira. I mean, Amechi was asked why it did not, former Governor Rotimi Amechi was asked why he did not continue the project, and he blamed the contractor at the time. He said the contractor was asking for so much money, even though 2.5 billion out of 3 billion had been given to him. Now, some say the project was supposed to go up, 3 billion, 7 billion, I'm not sure. But going by this report before me, as seen, published then, the then governor, His Excellency Rotimi Amechi, said that 2.5 out of 3 billion had been paid by Celestine Omeya, and the job was not completed. And I'm wondering, taxpayers' money, 2.5 billion in modern day could have gotten us, or even then could have been used to build us a proper gas turbine. Emphasis on proper now, because I hear we do have gas turbines, right? And talking about gas turbines, that was supposed to be what the YEMAC, what's the word now? There's a word for it, it's not coming to me. It was supposed to be what the main feature of, I think Allmac, that's what I wanted to say. The Allmac of Orderly's administration, gas turbines. 2024, we're still grappling with epileptic power supply. Yet again, I'm not yet to fight anybody. I need to emphasize on that. I'm looking at the policy direction. Do we really embark on projects that in the next 50 years? The reason why Theatre Spiff is some name that a lot of households revere is because, a lot of projects at this time are still benefiting maybe River State in one way or the other. Maybe, I should say. Maybe. So we need to think about things. Are we doing stuff that can stand in the next 50 years when the population has grown, when new developments have come? We will look at these projects and say, oh yeah, they serve the people of River State, they serve the humanity existing in River State. So once again, looking at the publication, that 2.5 billion naira of the 3 billion naira cost of the project was paid by Omeya. So I'm looking at it. Amechi said it. I'm looking at the report now. And Amechi did not complete the project because he believed that the contractor should not have been asking for more money, as the money given to him was enough to complete the project in record time. The then governor promised to sort out whatever problem existed that prevented the project execution, and in promise to ensure the completion and utilization of the project, which he agreed could provide jobs for the Rivers people if put into use. That was in 2007. So I don't know. It is time for us to stop the politicking, I think. It's time for us to look at development. I mean, for instance, the Lagos red and blue rail line, which is now going to be a very common example for the next few months, will stand the test of time. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe it will stand the test of time. Do we have similar projects? Do we the cassava processing plant? It looks like some guy farm. It looks like and these were supposed to be, when these projects are done, it looks like once the administration is done, the projects give up whatever spirit that it has. How do we ensure as Rivers people? See, I'm very passionate about this. I've still not opened the phone lines, and I'm sorry. But because I'm not just a Rivers person, I live and I do my business in Rivers State. So it's very important to me. Very important to me. And I think it's important to you as well. So 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0007. These are the call numbers. WhatsApp number 0809-0306-416. I understand. I understand the need for us to, want to be popular amongst our people, especially when in leadership positions. But what about what is collectively good for the people of River State? Do we even have a vision? We've had something similar as a conversation, I think last week. Do we even have a vision to say, oh, this is what Rivers people need? I took a trip to Ichi on Monday, and I keep making reference to that. And River State has got potential, man. River State has got potential. But are we moving in that direction? All right, I've got Jude from Amuma. Jude, welcome on the show. Let's get your thoughts and let's talk for development. Welcome. Good evening. Good afternoon.
Canada. For me, the demolition of that shopping mall, that, if you don't mind me, I describe it as senseless.
As what? Senseless? Why do you think it's senseless?
Because that shopping mall, if they want to build another structure there, or there's something they have in their mind to build, we have spaces all over River State, all over Port Harcourt, where another structure can be put up.
Jude, there is the argument.
About 2.something billion in 2007. Convert it. You know how many billion of public funds is being wasted. Like an economics, one of them said, as you read it, that place will be used for another purpose other than shopping. ICD, like the economics suggested. And this is public fund. Now, let's say they use the language is defective, like they said when they demolished or destroyed the Hollow Chamber. They said the architect said it was defective.
There were defects.
If we go by that word, River State becoming defective, and we go ahead and pull them down. The secretariat built by JSP should have been demolished.
Oh, I see.
Or should be demolished.
I see.
Because that one is very defective.
Okay.
The podium block all over the secretariat, all those should be demolished. They think that way. They are public money.
All right.
You can't be wasting public money in this way.
All right.
It has to have a think. Or River State, because we are going to change our mind because it's not helping us.
All right. Thank you very much. I do agree with Jude. I think it's a mental thing. We need to change our mindsets. Because even in our lawmaking, we've seen in recent times that we make a law, and in the space of a few months, we're saying, hey, that law is defective. Ibisu from Orderly Road, welcome.
Yes, Canada, good evening.
Good evening to you. Good afternoon.
Thank you for this discussion.
All right.
When you are narrating everything, I was asking myself why Amishi did not follow that project.
All right.
But thank God you bring in a report that he said that social things also making not follow the project.
Okay.
The immediate past governor did not follow that project. Now let me start with data speed. Data speed build the secretariat. And during that time, data speed build the flyover at my own. Don't look at that flyover.
Presidential Hotel.
Built, let me say,
Continental Hotel.
Or elevators.
Yeah.
That project is still there. The secretariat is still there. That anybody, just imagine, as of that time, someone have this idea to build such secretariat. As of that time. And it's still there. Now, let's come to the current government. Now, Amishi built schools in different areas in the early years as a secondary school to compete with the private sector. Now, after Amishi, the house governor just abandoned it and take a walk to different areas.
I did. I saw. I have.
Yeah. Remove everything. Like at Trailer Park, we have the in school that Amishi built there. Go there and watch what is going on there. Now some areas is hospital that is even staying in the building. Go to a if you are going to Imo State, you see that you are just seeing the block alone. You understand? And the taxpayers' money. Now, Amishi built monorail. This is the Elephant project. Meanwhile, in Lagos State, Jakonde started the project that they commissioned last week. Jakonde started. And now, today,
all right.
The commission and Lagos are enjoying it.
All right. I've got to let you
go. Because it is taxpayers' money. Do it for the people to enjoy it. However, if I go to Lagos today, I have my card that I will use and enter that train. I have about 2,000 plus in my card. I will go to different areas I want to go. It's helping the masses. Now you come and you abandon it. Life farm that they build, you come here, you abandon it. Now the government want to use another money to bring it back again. And when we talk, people will say that it's politics. But father, you are paying tax in the state.
Right.
Paying tax in the
Right.
state.
I've got to go.
It's our money.
I get you, but I've got to go because I've got Barry and Zion waiting. So I'm going to start with Barry. Barry from GRA, welcome. It's good to have you.
Canada, good evening.
Yeah, greetings to you.
So, first and foremost, that shopping mall, I think it's not a private property. Go and do your investigation.
Okay.
It's not a private property.
So if
again, it's high time we must go ask questions.
Okay.
There are so many buildings along that Aba Road, including the former stock exchange, that have been taken over by somebody.
So when you say,
including the famous stock exchange, what close to the popular Coco Christi Church.
Okay.
The one very close to the water lines, sharing building with the water lines.
No, that's not.
And so many other ones.
The one close to water lines.
Is that only the former NDDC building.
Barry, wait. Barry. The one at water lines was given to someone to manage. I remember when the former governor in his commission, he mentioned that. Yeah. The one at near road safety, Aba Road, as if you're going to mile 1. I think they put up that one for sale. I remember as well. After the government,
so
I did not follow up. Now I'm going somewhere, please. Wait now. Wait. You brought up. Wait now. You brought up something, and I'm giving you the details that I have. I'm not saying I'm in know-it-all. So we're having a conversation, right? Now, the one we saw and heard when the former governor put up that for sale. Now, the one at, what do you call it now? The shopping mall, the one we're talking about, nobody has heard anything after the statement from Amechi that he was going to see what the stumbling block was and is. And this is what 17 years later, and now we're seeing the demolition.
So Canada.
I'm listening to you.
I'm giving you an information now.
Okay.
It is not a private property owned by one of the former governors. Find out.
One of the former governors.
And the man is doing his thing. He wants to do his business. Yes.
Okay. All right. Owned by one of the former governors. Interesting. I've got Zion from GRA. Zion, welcome on the show. Let's get talking, please.
The solution.
Are you there, Zion?
Demolition.
Yeah, demolition.
Demolition is the solution to that property.
Okay.
Do you know that property, all the interiors have been supplied? Chandeliers, mention them.
They have been supplied. They have been supplied.
They supplied all in that building. But guess what? Our street boys scattered away everything. Every night they are stealing those properties.
Okay.
Coming from wherever.
Whose fault is it, Zion? Zion, is it the street boys' fault or government?
Don't forget that property you are seeing there. All this government you mentioned, no, it's Bank PHB that has the counterpart funding with then government. We also have the Bank PHB buses on the streets with the paint blue and yellow.
Yeah, I remember the buses.
Why do we forget things so easily and be casting our passions?
I'm wondering why we're casting aspersions here. But anyways, let's read this message. This one says, the reason why all these governors can't finish that project is because it was awarded to... Okay, I'm not saying it loud. I need to make my research. He said the contractor should refund the money. Sindo from Iwofe. This one says, good evening, Kalada. This is the reason why every administration in power should take up project they can convincingly and conveniently complete within the lifespan of that administration. If the past administration of Wike had abandoned any of its projects like the flyovers in Port Harcourt, it is likely that this present government may not have given it attention or pulled it down. So let every government learn to bite as much as they can chew. And no continuity in River State. Very unfortunate, Canada. Mawe from Port Harcourt. Let's see this one. This one says, unfortunately, it's not only... Okay. It said, unfortunately... Barrister Wike was campaigning in 2015. Wike called the mall legacy projects as Celestine Omoya built that Amechi, because of politics, abandoned. More worrisome throughout Wike's tenure as governor, Omoya was always in the front seat, but they never thought of completing it, utilizing the mall from start. Some people who have called in are alleging that the project or the building may have been sold to someone. I don't know, conspiracy theorists. Chris from Rumobiakani, welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Calendar.
Yeah, greetings to you, welcome.
For me, I think the governor is too quick to, demolition.
I don't know if it's too quick. It may have done a scientific research, like I said, a scientific finding, and maybe there are defects. But my point is not whether the governor demolished or not, or whoever demolished. My conversation is the taxpayers' money spent on that project, and it's come to naught. That's the angle I'm looking at it from.
What I'm suspecting is that if you watch, Harcourt is fully developed. And that is why when the former governor gave ticket to that, south, is it east, what do they call it? Senatorial district, which is Anthony Road. One would have expected the governor to go, especially Anthony area, to develop that area. I just said that he wants to employ 10,000 workers. Except he wants to turn the state to civil servant state. Otherwise, for me, development is the key.
All right.
Push development to that Anthony area. Leave this side, because there's nothing you do here.
All
but
right.
yeah, a kind of maybe want to put something so that when we pass, we will see and say, oh, he's the one that did it. Otherwise,
Chris, I can't hear you, so I've got to let you go. I've got Tamino from Abloma. Tamino, welcome. What is it?
Hello, Kalada, can you hear me, please?
Loud and clear.
Hello, based on the issue on ground, you see, I know government is continuity.
Yeah.
You see, the issue of a C4I, security issue in Rivers would have been a thing of the past.
I agree.
But the past administration came and crippled everything.
I wouldn't say crippled, maybe abandoned.
$8 billion, they got straight out of Rivers State.
Okay.
That is why you see that the criminality in Rivers State came to its peak. So what are we saying? That mall that was destroyed. Okay, if our machine couldn't work on it, why can't this past administration work on it? So can I see the whole thing?
All right then. Tamino, yeah, I can hear you. Thank you very much. I can see indeed. This one says, hello Kalada. Perhaps the building being that it wasn't painted or they didn't do screeding, it now has failed a structural integrity test, or it is more or less an outdated design. What I am sad about is the lack of communication from the government, leaving room for allegations and conspiracy theories to start flying text from Weibo. But text, like someone said, maybe it has been sold and we don't know. But whichever the case, I'm saying 2.5 billion naira was spent. So if it was sold, then it's good. I mean, we recouped our money, but we should be asking how much was it sold for, because we have also seen government properties sold for lesser amounts. So the shopping mall, whose source? Because if it's not the government that's having the benefits and private individual on the private, I know the government has a better plan for that place, as it can. We're not talking about the plan now. We're talking about the money that has been spent. Wealth from Uzoba. I think that's the last call. We've got a commercial. Wealth, you have 60 seconds, please.
Hello?
Yeah, you have 60 seconds. Quickly, let's hear your thoughts.
Okay, yeah. Father, good evening.
Yeah, quickly, please.
Okay, I want to lay my voice on this issue. You see, government is a continuum.
Right.
But let us not forget the man that brought State Fubara to governance. He has done a lot. For we get to pick up things, everybody.
How is that what we're talking about? That's not what we're. Thank you very much. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about development and not politics now. Yes, I think that's where we all are getting it wrong. It's not about the personalities who have been in government. We're talking about Rivers State, policy direction, vision, where we're traveling to. Are we really traveling on the right path? These are the questions in my head. But when we come back, after the news at 6, because there was a commercial break, and then after that the news at 6. When we come back, we'll do a recap, open season that is. Do stay tuned.